I'm going to show you everything you need to know about installing the pistons and rods and the 7.3. Pay attention to this area right here. That's where your rod bearing goes into the little groove there. So the bearings are made for this little tab to sink in there. Now this piece goes in this location, so you should have your two cut ends here and your two cut ends on the rod, and they'll match in the same spot. Each cap has to go with each rod, so don't mix those up. The initial torque spec is 53 on each, and then you bump it up to 80 on the second torque sequence, so 80 foot-pounds on both. When you install the wrist pin, make sure that the wrist pin spins and that the rod spins on the wrist pin, so both should be able to be moved. When you put the clips in, make sure that the open end of the clip is pointing down. If they're up or any other direction, they could be removed by centrifugal force, so it's very important to place those ends down. The rod orientation in comparison to the piston, so notice this is the cut end. On the opposite of the cut end is your cam side of the piston. The piston ring orientation, you want the gaps. The way I did this one, mainly the top two compression rings, they need to be 180 degrees apart, and then the oil gap needs to be 45 degrees apart from one of the other gaps, and that neither should line up with the wrist pin, so they all should be at an angle. So here's my gap of my oil ring. The top compression ring is, the gap will be right here, split in the center. And then I'll angle the lower compression ring, having the gap in the center of this line right here. Now I'm ready to install it. I'm going to use a piston ring compressor to install this. Before I do that, I'm going to just pour oil over it and then massage it into all the rings. This should be completely clean, no debris on it. Otherwise, if anything in this can lock up, you're going to have a serious problem. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate this bearing here before I drop it in to make sure that it's just easier to do it that way. This is what it's looking like when I go to install the piston rings. The top ring, I'm having the gap right here at this corner. The lower ring, I chose to put it at this corner, and the oil ring, I chose to put it at this corner. And this is your cam side. So each of the pistons, the cam side should always be, well, on the cam side. And then this side, you'll have them all on the cam side, like it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to use the piston ring compressor, compress these rings, and drop that down in the cylinder to complete our short block. Next, we have to bolt all of our lifters down.